So it's come down to this. It has come down to, let's take into consideration all of the conversations we've had over these last couple of seasons and really put it into a simple idea of just having an attitude of gratitude. Let's talk about that today. Hello and welcome to Ladies Listen Up. I am your host, Gwendolyn 𝐺𝐸 Attitude of gratitude. That is where we are landing. And I gotta say, when you put it all together, I believe you can't help but have an attitude of gratitude. Now, what is gratitude, right? What is gratitude? If you just think about it's a feeling or an appreciation for all that you have. And I'm going to use the words big or small, but there really is no size to just appreciation. And it's looking at and acknowledging that, the universe, the higher power, or whatever, has an impact. And you yourself, I think about juju. I think about good karma. That when you put that out there, it shows up for you. It comes back to you. Now, some of us have put some bad juju out in the world and we feel like we're going through this constant storm. Yeah, that happens. But storms don't last always. Storms do end. You have to plow through. And when we come through the other side of that storm, I look around and say, okay, now what? And my initial response is be grateful. So as I was saying before, storms don't last always. And I would like to believe in my childlike hopefulness that when we have experienced a storm, we have come out of the storm, that we leave with a few life lessons and a better attitude. That is the childlike hope. And then I'm reminded that a hope is not a strategy. It is merely a wish without a plan. But I'm still hopeful. It is still there. I have gone through my fair share of storms. I don't even believe that we are done with them, because that's just life, right? You have your ups, you have your downs, but through it all, I am grateful. And as I mentioned, I looked at my life and said, okay, Gwendolyn, you're doing the things, you're here, you're there. And with one decision that I made, consciously made, everything fell, like the bottom fell out of the basket. And I found myself in situations I would have never dreamed of. And I thought to myself, how did I get here? And how do I get out of this? I had mentioned I considered suicide. I did consider it. And when I really stopped and thought about it, I was like, and what does that solve exactly? How does that impact your family, your friends, your loved ones? Why would you? And it can be hard. It can be hard for a number of us, right? It can be so dark that we miss those daily blessings. And I talk about this on a consistent basis that, we are blessed beyond measure. When I was trying to figure out how to make these ends meet, and I pretty much had 2 part-time jobs, and it wasn't working. You know, my dear friend allowed me to sleep, and I chose sleep on her sofa because I didn't want to get a bed. And for a hot minute, she did not charge me rent. You know, because it was like, she can't afford this, she sure can't afford that. You know, someone showed me a little grace and mercy during my storm. When I had no idea how any of this was going to turn out, like zero idea. And yet still, I got up every day. Now, when you're going through it, you're telling yourself, okay, it's going to work itself out. It's going to work itself out. If I can just get through 3 more months, if I can just get through 6 more months, if I can just get through this year, if I can get right here, it's going to work out. It's going to turn around. And you got to remind yourself of those things. And at the exact same time, we are actively working to change our situation. But in the midst of all of that, I am learning, I am adapting an attitude of gratitude. Because until you don't have it, you don't even understand just how good things are. Having a place to rest your head, major. Having gas in your car, major. Having a reliable vehicle for transportation, extra major. Clean clothes, air conditioning. Once I got it, health insurance. Like all these things that we talk about on a consistent basis. We talk about them without any care. And not all of us, but just hear me out. There is a certain level of taking some of this for granted. It is here and then it is gone. And I say it again, most American families are one major incident away from poverty. Like it can set you back. Like really back. And we just sometimes we go through life not really recognizing just how good it is for us. You know? Now for me myself, going through all of my foolishness, all my bags. When I came out on the other side, it was, okay, you know, I have made it this far without all of these extra things. And they are things. These nice to haves. They're not needs. They're wants. They're nice to haves. I've made it through all of that. And we're still here. We're still doing whatever we're doing. Now, were there some, let me go ahead and share this. Were there some side effects? Yeah, I remember, because as my brother says, you can buy some new jeans. 2 things. One, if you get a really good pair of jeans, you love those jeans. Because you get them all nice and comfy and worn in. When those jeans start to go, you're like, I'm not finna get a new pair of jeans. Like, I have worn these jeans in, and they are my favorite pair of jeans. So much so that Gwendolyn, I started adding patches to my jeans. Because I was like, put a patch on it. It'll be fine. So I remember one day I was trying to add 2 more patches. And my brother says, I asked him, I said, hey, how many patches is too many before you need to? And he was like, well, how many do you have? He's like, I got 6. I have 6 patches. And he was like, Gwendolyn, buy some new jeans. I was like, I guess. I really did love them jeans, though. I love them jeans. I'm sorry. I mean, I love those jeans. And there was probably also something in there that said, I'm going to make this work. But most of my clothes have typically lasted for like a very long time. Like 20 years or so. Because, you know, I don't do fast fashion. So some of that stuff in there could have their own ID. They could be drinking with me at the bar. Let me get focused. When you come out of it, I believe most of us have some lessons that we take with us, right? Like you don't forget what you've gone through. I I don't believe you do. Now, how did it impact me? Why am I now at a place of recognizing all of my daily blessings? It was the storm. And when you sit down and have to write about it, and I wrote about it, you start looking around like, okay, all right. What truly is necessary? Now, in terms of mental health, in my opinion, I do believe it has improved. And I don't know if you have all used it, but the Calm app, and there are other apps out there, they have it where you can take the time to write down what you are grateful for every single day. You can do it yourself if you wanted to, but it had a reminder. And it's a simple thing of, what are you grateful for? And you just start looking around and writing down. I am grateful for Twizzlers. I am grateful for a place to sit down and watch the birds and the bees. I am grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for peanut butter. You start looking, really looking at what's going on. And the way you see the world does change. Do I get stressed out easily? No. I mean, we have been through some stuff, so I'm kind of like, it could be worse. It could be worse. So I don't go to a place of, oh my God, it's so awful. It's like, no, man, this ain't nothing. This is nothing here. So I don't get stressed out. I tend to look at issues and sort of marinate on it and then find a plan. Find a plan and act accordingly is what I tend to do. But on a daily basis, when I am writing down what I'm grateful for, the 3 things, you do feel good because like you're having to sit and really focus on what's going on around you. And I know that in the moment, some of these things that we get upset about, they seem major in the moment, and they're really not major when you stop and think about it. Like when you really stop and think about it, like, is that all? Is that it? People would often ask me like, wow, you're in a great mood. It's like, I'm in a good mood all the time. Yes, I'm in a good mood. I woke up this morning. There's gas in my car. There's food in the fridge. Yes. I'm in a good mood because this right here is it's fleeting. I'm not finna get upset about simple things that really aren't that important when you really stop and think about it. On the big scale of things, it's not that important. I do believe I now have stronger relationships. You know, at the end of the day, what is that? A song by Bobby Womack. Nobody wants you when you're down and out. You know, people come around you when you get all the money and all the glitz and all the glamour, and then when things get kind of funny, they go hiding. Now, that wasn't my case, okay? But my family showed up for me. My friends, who are very much like family members, showed up for me. And so that does not get lost on me. There's a stronger relationship. Because if I have to choose what to do, where to spend my time and money, no, my time, because time is money. I choose friends. I choose family. I think it's great when people go on these amazing trips. I think it's beautiful. I really do. That's not being facetious. I think it's great. But if I never get to go on those fancy dancy trips, it's okay. Because I got a chance to spend another weekend with my grandbabies or my girlfriends or my siblings and my mother, my best friend. Like the memories you create in that time, oh God, priceless. Really are priceless. And I think it's beautiful to be able to do that out here on some amazing island. But I can get that exact same feeling if I just spend some time at the house as well. I don't have to go places. Adding to that, I do believe I have a stronger sense of empathy. You know, I see people, and I see people, even myself, differently than I did before. Because sometimes, you know, we go through life and we just overlook what's happening on the sidelines. We just don't recognize it, we don't see it. Until something cuts you, and now you're bleeding, and now you're like, oh snap, I gotta recognize this. And now you see people differently. My volunteer efforts, in the past, were wherever it was needed, right? So when I was in New York, I volunteered for New York City, where we took care of the parks. So New York Cares. We took care of the parks, cleaning the parks, coat drives, whole 9 yards, cleaning subways. Oh my goodness. When I got to DFW, I was a big sister for a big brother, big sister, you know, and all of these matter to me. But since I've settled, what really mattered to me is the food bank. So volunteering at the Tarrant Area County Food Bank. Because I have experienced food insecurity a couple of times now in my life. As a kid, as an adult, I have experienced it. It's major. And when I see these young people, these kids at school, and they can't get breakfast or lunch because they have a lunch debt, and the school wants to treat them differently because of this lunch debt, I'm thinking, these are babies. Feed them, children. Feed the kids. Like, figure it out some other way, but these are babies. Why would you want babies starving? How can they possibly learn if they're starving? I see the world differently now. And I'm grateful for the experience to see everybody, because I have literally been there. And if I may, there is nothing more upsetting than seeing working families at the food bank. But I get it, because we were a working person trying to figure out how to put food on the table. I get it. So a few more things. There is a positive mindset, right? Again, I don't see things like, oh my goodness, it's awful. You know, I don't look at adversity and falter. It's like, nah, I can deal with this. We can deal with this. We can get through this. We're here. And that's enough. So we're going to get through it. And I do remain positive. Now, I am also realistic. I'm like, look, now we can't save everybody, but I do. The mindset is positive. It's definitely positive. And I would also add, physically, my heart feels great. You know, I get up in the morning, most mornings. I get out, do a little work, do a little walking for the heart. And it's about heart health. And people are like, oh, I want to get my summer body, my winter. I've got legs that I can move, and eyes where I can see, and ears where I can hear, and I can taste, and I can smell. I mean, my body is functioning right now. I am grateful that the body is still functioning. Grateful that all of this is still working the way it should. We only get one of these machines, so we're gonna make the most of this machine. But I am grateful for that. And studies have shown, if I may, that your positive mindset and a better physical health tends to help out with your immune system too. Like, we don't get sick very often. It's funny how all that's related. I mean, I believe it's all related. But we don't get sick very often. I do get allergies though. I don't think being grateful has anything to do with allergies. But let's talk about doing some work, shall we? So as I mentioned before, you can find apps for this, but you don't even need an app. You can just put it into your notes. You can write it as a social post. You have choices, but I believe, even your journal, but I believe it's great to do a simple exercise of acknowledgement of what you are grateful for on a daily basis. Take 5-10 minutes and just write down 1 to 3 things. You can do 5 once, but I do 1 to 3 things that I am grateful for every single day. That simple acknowledgement, it puts you back into being present. We're not doing the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We're not going to look at what could have been, what may have. No, we are doing what we have right here, right now. Would I love to win the lottery? I would, but I don't play still. I still don't play. Although I did have a scratch off and I won $20, so I'm getting better. But even if I never win the lottery, I'm still winning. My family and I, we are still winning. We got to get to a place of acknowledging what we have and recognizing that that too is enough. Could it be better? We can always want things to be better. Yes, we can want for things to be better. But if you never got it, would you be okay? Probably, yeah. Yeah. Let's be more present. Let's look at what we have. And so with writing down 1 to 3 things or 5 things, I also believe in keeping a gratitude journal. You can start with it in the day or end it at night. But again, writing down what you're grateful for. We need these reminders. Sometimes we forget what's really going down. We need reminders because when people remind you of what's going on and what you have, you find it extremely hard to be, well, not to be, but to complain. It's hard to complain when you are actively writing down what you are grateful for in your gratitude journal. I am grateful for friends. I am grateful for this opportunity. I am grateful for so on and so forth. It's huge. It's hard to complain when you're writing down what you're grateful for. And you don't have to do it in a journal that's physical. It can be digital. I'm trying to tell you, there's quite a few gratitude apps that are there out on the Play stores. So look that up. Or just use your note app in your phone. That'll work too. Now, I will say I did pick up being mindful and making time to meditate. I picked that up. Because sometimes the world is noisy. And as I mentioned before, where I worked, there was a lake where you could fish. It was catch and release. But there was a lake. The geese were there, the turtles were there, the fish were there, the egrets, they were all there. But I would just sit at the lake, close my eyes, and just focus on what was going on around me. You know, I love that lake too. Little quick side note, I love that lake. When people were having a hard time at work, I would say, we need to go to the lake and put all your tears and whatnot in the lake. The lake is all purifying. Something about water, right? Right. But we would take it to the lake, put it in the lake, and we would walk around that lake and leave it all outside. Because sometimes the world gets wonky, okay? It gets really wonky. But I would take my teammates and we would put it at the lake and just let it flow. Tears and all, just leave it at the lake. God, it was great. Missed that lake. So here's a few more things. My mother is a minister. And so I feel a certain way about death, i.e., it is what it is, right? It's going to happen. I don't like using the words "your loss." I tend to use condolences. We are here and then we're gone. We're not meant to be here forever. And we don't own anybody, so we have lost nothing since we never had it. We're here on some borrowed time. Maybe we're going to live our purpose and then go about our business. But if there is anything you can do today, it is tell your loved ones, tell your friends, your mentors, give them their flowers today. Because once they're gone, it's like, okay, well, no offense, but they can't hear these words. And everybody has their own beliefs. I'm not knocking that, so hear me clearly. But why not spend that time today? Why not tell this person, you changed my life today? Because of you, I am here. Because of this, you inspired me to do. Why not do that today? Because tomorrow's not promised. Don't put it off. If more people knew the lives they were touching, can you imagine what this world would be like? Because some of us have it where we don't want folks to know just how powerful they are. We would much rather have them think they have done nothing and that their existence doesn't matter. It's really warped, but whatever. But if we took the time to tell more people how much they meant to us today, can you imagine? Thank you. Thank you for being here, right? Because in this moment, although you didn't know it, I needed it. I needed you. There's a reason why you missed that train today. There's a reason why that this happened to put you in my space today. I just didn't know it. Living out your purpose. Being where you're supposed to be. Tell them today. I'm happy that you're here. I'm thankful for our relationship. I'm thankful for your friendship. This is that moment. Like, this is that moment. Do it today. If you do nothing else, do it today. But here's that last one. Here's that last one. Your affirmations for yourself. Now, I know people are like, goodness, Gwendolyn, you're always big up in yourself. Yes, I am. I appreciate what the good Lord has given me. I tell myself every day how wonderful I am and how cute, despite this perimenopausal skin and whatnot. I have to give myself reminders. We should all give ourselves reminders. It starts here, right here. Yes, I give myself reminders as well. My wonky eyes, the stutter, all the foolishness, I am thankful for it. I wouldn't be the person that I am if I didn't have it. Can you imagine that? Like, oh my God, I can't imagine. That would be boring. Really boring? Kind of boring? Ugh. I don't want to go down that road. All I know is this. You got this moment. So show yourself some love. Show your friends, your family members, those who are important to you some love. Be grateful for where you are today. Count your daily blessings. And most importantly, give yourself the space and grace to grow and learn.